If I were to sell my home in the Golden Gate Estates in 2026, I wouldn't just stick a sign in the yard and throw it up on Zillow and hope for the best. Because here's the reality. I've seen a lot of homeowners leave a ton of money on the table simply just because they approach selling the wrong way. And the crazy part is, most of these mistakes happen before they even put their home on the market. So today I'm going to walk you through exactly what I would do if I were to put my home on the market in the Golden Gate Estates. And whether you're thinking about selling in the next month or the next year, this is the exact strategy I would use before putting my home on the market. So let's jump in. Hey guys, my name is Joshua Otto. I am a real estate agent here in Southwest Florida, and today I'm going to be talking to you about what I would do if I were going to be selling my home in the Golden Gate Estates in 2026. This is the exact strategy I would use based on my experience and what I've learned throughout the years working with sellers and working with buyers and being able to see things through a buyer's lens. So this is going to be a very valuable video if you are thinking about selling your home. Now, if you've been on my channel before, welcome back. I appreciate you coming in. If you're new to my channel, again, my name is Joshua Otto. I'm a real estate agent here in Southwest Florida. And I'm going to be doing a lot of videos where I'm talking to you about buying or selling a home or just showing you homes that are available in the area. So if you like these kind of videos, you're going to want to make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Now let's get on to what I would do if I were selling my home. All right, so the first step I would do is I would plan 6 months ahead of time. All right, now I know a lot of people, they may not be able to do that. Maybe a life-altering thing happens and they have to sell their home quick. But if you are not one of those people and you don't want to leave any money on the table, then you need to really be thinking ahead. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is whenever people decide to sell, they put it on the market immediately, they don't do any prep, and they end up hurting themselves in the long run. It causes future headaches. It causes inspection problems where the buyer cancels the contract, so you've got wasted time on the market. And also, preparing a home takes time. You know, you're going to have to get stuff moved out. You're going to have to do painting. You're going to have to get things decluttered. It takes real time to get these things done. So planning 6 months ahead of time is going to allow you to do that in a less stressful way. All right, so the second thing I would do is I would get an honest opinion. I would not take advice from Zillow on what my home is worth. I would not even take advice from my next door neighbor. I wouldn't even look at what my next door neighbor sold their home for 5 years ago. I would be getting an honest opinion from somebody who actually knows the market in the Golden Gate Estates. The Golden Gate Estates is one of the hardest places to price in Naples, and the reason why is because it is so different. You don't have a cookie cutter neighborhood where every house is virtually the same and you can pretty much guess what that house is going to sell. Every house is completely different. You have different acreage, you have wetlands, you have uplands, you have flood zones, you have homes with a shop, you have homes with a pool, you have homes with fencing. There are a ton of different variables when it comes to pricing a home in the Golden Gate Estates that's going to affect your pricing. So I would definitely hire somebody who knows the Golden Gate Estates, can give you an honest opinion on what the price is, so that way you know ahead of time before you get started. The third thing I would do is I would only fix the things that really matter. This is where people can waste a lot of money. So the first step I would do is I would get a home inspector in. I'd get a preliminary home inspection done. I'd have them go through the home. I'd get a list of things that need to be fixed, especially if it's on a 4-point inspection. It's going to affect the insurability of my property for a buyer. I'd make sure those things are addressed, they're taken care of, and that punch list is done. So that way, whenever a buyer does do a home inspection on your home, hopefully your home inspector found everything and it's all taken care of. I would definitely do a fresh coat of paint on the inside and outside of the home. I would make sure that all the drywall holes are fixed, that any baseboards ever chewed up by your dog or scratched up by your cat is taken care of. Or let's face it, you know, a lot of us have kids and they are not the most caring whenever it comes to the walls. A lot of you probably have crayon drawings on your walls or your baseboards or, you know, something of that nature. So make sure those things are taken care of and it's kept up throughout the process. I'd also make sure your landscaping is cleaned up. If you have any dead trees on your property, get those taken care of, get them cut down. Any bushes that need to be trimmed, get those trimmed. Get some fresh mulch around the house. Do some pressure washing on your driveway and your lanai. Make sure those are all cleaned up. And then even the ceiling fixtures, I'd make sure those are updated as well. Those can stand out like a sore thumb, especially in your living room area, your kitchen, your dining room. Those areas are the part of the home, and if you have outdated fixtures in there, it's gonna really stand out to a buyer. And one thing I wouldn't do is I would go and spend $60,000 on an outdoor kitchen or even my main kitchen and bathrooms. I would not go and spend a ton of money updating those things because you're not going to get your money back. You know, you're going to spend $50,000 on updating it and you're lucky to get $15,000, $20,000 out of it. Don't do that. It's a bad idea. You're not going to get your money's worth. Do the things that's actually going to matter. The next thing I would do is I'd prepare the property like it's the first time the buyers are seeing it. All right, so this kind of goes into what I was just talking about. I'd make sure that all the landscaping is done, the grass is cut, all of the clutter is put away, your countertops are cleared, your dresser doesn't have a bunch of stuff all over it. Just make sure that everything is put away as possible. Also get your garage organized, get that outbuilding organized. If you have a shop, make sure it's not cluttered and people can actually walk through it. If you have a shed, do the same thing. And that includes the equipment. You know, if you have a lawnmower or any lawn equipment, make sure that stuff is put away. It is hidden. If you got kids like me and their bikes are in the yard like mine right now, make sure that those are put away, that they're in the garage, they're in a shed, they're wherever they need to be, so that way it looks tidied up. Okay, because first impressions really matter, especially whenever it comes to real estate. The next thing I would do is I'd invest in marketing. All right, this is huge. I would have an actual professional photographer come into my home, take photos, take drone photos that we can show that acreage off. I'd have them do a 3D walkthrough. I'd have videography done. I would get it up on YouTube. I'd get it up on social media. I would get it up everywhere where eyes can see it. All right, this is huge. The worst thing I see is whenever someone's taking photos with their cell phone, especially vertical, because online they are not vertical, they're horizontal, and it just looks terrible. I would make sure that they are well done, they look nice, they're crisp, and you have a clear photo that people can see that really shows off your home. Then after all of that is done, this is whenever it comes to putting it on the market. All right, this comes back to the pricing, okay? So you're gonna wanna price it whenever you're on the market competitively. You want your competition to see your home hit the market and think, they're gonna sell their house before I do. That's what you want. You don't want to help your neighbors sell their home by pricing it above theirs. I'm telling you right now, it's a terrible idea, and your neighbor should be actually paying you if you do that. The homes that overprice themselves sit, they don't get any showings, they waste their time, and then they end up having to price it to where it should have been anyways, and then they end up getting it sold. And one thing that can really hurt a seller, I'm telling you this right now, is whenever you start decreasing your price and a buyer sees it, because they're going to see it, they're going to see you decreased your price $20, $30, $40, $50,000, and they're going to think, how much lower are they willing to go? Are they willing to go another $20,000, $30,000, $40,000? Right? So they're going to start lowballing you because of that. So the worst thing you can do is outprice yourself from the market and then start chasing it. You want to get ahead of it. You want to take charge. You want to win in this market. You have to price it right. You have to price it competitively. And that is the best strategy you can do. All right, and then another thing you should do is you should be planning on what kind of offer you're willing to accept. Right? Before you even have an offer come in, you should kind of already know what you're willing to take. What are you willing to concede? How much time is it going to take you to move out of your home? How long do you need for closing? Are you going to need a post-lease occupancy? Are you willing to give concessions to the buyer for closing costs? Or are you willing to help them buy their interest rate down? Or even this scenario, what if you have a buyer come in as a cash offer and then you have another one at a conventional? Where does it draw the line on, are you going to accept this conventional offer because they have a higher offer? How much higher do they have to be for you to consider it? Some people I see, if they get a cash offer, they're not even going to consider a conventional. They don't want to. They don't care how high that conventional offer comes. They'd rather have that cash offer than the conventional because there's more security involved. So these are the things you need to be asking yourself. And having those answered beforehand can help with the negotiations once they start. So if I were selling my home in the Golden Gate Estates, this is the exact strategy I would follow, not just because it's flashy or because it's attractive, because it will work. If you do these things, you will have less of a headache trying to sell, you will be successful, and things will work out. Because selling a home, especially an acreage property, is not about luck. It's about preparation and it's about presentation. And it's about having a strategy that attracts the right buyers. So if you're thinking about selling your home in the Golden Gate Estates, whether it's next month or next year, I'd love to help you build a plan. Every week I talk to homeowners who are trying to figure out what their home is worth, what things should they do before they go on the market, what improvements actually make sense, and how to position themselves to be successful. So if you are one of those people and you'd like guidance, you can call or text me the number you see on the screen right here. I'd love to talk to you about it. I'd love to help you out. And even if you're not ready to sell just yet, I'd love to help at least come up with a strategy that's going to help you be successful. And if you found this video helpful, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm regularly doing tips like this, whether it comes to buying or selling or investing in the Naples area, especially the Golden Gate Estates, to help you guys make informed real estate decisions. And with that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.